Okay, so just gonna quickly talk about some stuff for the final project. Mainly, like, how do you split things between your groups? Once they're split, how do you combine them for the final part when you're actually setting up the whole scene? And kind of just tools for that. Getting straight into it, there's like three major types of projects that I'll run over real fast, and then we'll talk about how you can actually import and export between scenes for them. Um, we have the indoor-outdoor scenes, which is like one team member is maybe making like a building, the outside of a building, and you're making like the inside seating area or whatever. I would say, as far as blocking goes, try to start with two similarly sized cubes. Make sure you take your second cube. This would be, if we look in here, my inside, that would be my outside. Scale your inside ever so slightly to be smaller than your outside. We're going to go here into edit mode, and I select that face there. We're going to do, you can either right click for this, right click separate selection, or you can just click on it and do P and then do selection. So now that has removed just this lid part, which if that's like one of our walls, that would be like our dollhouse wall where we're going to knock that out so that we can actually, put this in here. And you can actually do this like more precisely, go in and snap it and actually like set it up so it's perfectly inside there, but that's just kind of the concept. If you need to now see the inside part because the inside has a wall that's blocking it, you can either just hide the one wall, like just hide the face, and then I believe Shift H unhides it. Or you can do the same sort of thing where we do P selection and we separate it, and now it's its own face that we can kind of move off to the side or do whatever we need with. If you're doing a whole wall, it can be hard to like hide every little piece. So I would just try to plan your building to have a side you can take off, or like a window that you can pop out or something like that, so you can actually get in there and get shots of it. Yeah. And then if we're doing many floors, so if you have like something like a multi-storied building, like an apartment or a business, whatever, same idea. We'd want to pull off the top here so that you can look inside dollhouse style. You can now see the whole second floor. We hide that. We hide the floor in between the two. We can see the first floor. That's just kind of the general idea on how to set those scenes up. As far as we go for like multiple buildings in a scene, say you're all three people in your group are just doing an exterior shot. You're not doing something where somebody's doing indoor pieces or whatever. Everyone's just focusing on like really complex outer buildings. You would just kind of set them all up like this. And now we can actually start talking about the process of taking things between files, because this is the easiest example and I'll just go over it quickly. So my team member has done some work, I've done some work, and we want to put them together now. So let's make a whole new scene. I'm just going to open one I've already made, but it's just an empty scene called Final Put Together. We're going to put everything here together. So I've talked about appending and linking and copy and pasting. Completely valid way to do this is, okay, I've done this work. This is all just left in blocking because my other team members were doing it. Select my work, Control C, Control V. And it will have copied materials and everything too. I can also just have my group members pulled up and Control Z, Control V his as well, whatever. That's a perfectly valid way to get things between your scenes. It's probably the easiest way. The more reliable way, if Control C is giving you problems, would be to either link or append it. If you do appending, you will open up here in your main file. And let's say we haven't put anything in here at all yet. I want to append this red building. So I will go in here, I'll go to collections, and I'm just going to import everything in this many buildings file. This made an actual copy. Like I can go in and edit this. The reason I'm stressing this is because link does not make an actual copy. You cannot edit linked files, but link has its own use cases that I'll show in a minute. So I've appended this. I can go and do the same thing and also append in, oops, if it will let me, this other collection. the green one. And you can see we've got like the unedited buildings from everybody's scenes, whatever, but I've now appended the work in from here and from here. It looks like it actually, the cube's green because I did an earlier demo and I didn't save this file, but you guys get the point. Essentially, we now have my partner's work and my work in the file. They're just copies. If we changed anything in our own working files, like if I changed this to be this blue one and I wanted this to reflect that, I'd have to delete it and like recopy it in or reappend it. If I am trying to not have to do that, like if I just want cube and cube 05, right, from each of these scenes, I can do a link, and a link is like a reference. So a link isn't actually making the image, or not the image, the object as a copy solidly in your project. Sorry, that's kind of hard to explain, but it's not an actual physical copy. It's just a reference to all of the information it's getting from another file. So if I reference in this cube, this, or not reference, I link it, you can see that it's now got this little chain icon, and I can't, no matter how much I tab on it or I go up here, you cannot edit this. The only thing you can really do is move this around the scene. But the good part about this is if I changed this or I changed something, like if I linked the entire just collection for this assignment, rather than just linking like one little part of it. Let's go do this file because I know it's actually updated. If I link all of many buildings, I can't move each thing. Like if I link the whole collection, I can only move the whole collection. So it only moves as one big mass. I can't edit it. I can't do anything. But if I changed something in my own file here, any of these, and then closed and reopened this, you would see that reflected, which I can try to do real fast. Sometimes with having them open at the same time, things don't always like work. Let's try saving that, and let's try opening, blocking, and then reopening the together. Yeah, you can see it's green now. So any edits I made in my file are now reflected in here. So linking is good for like leave it and forget it, keep working in your own project, and it'll update in the final scene. Not great for like if you still need to tweak things a little bit, if you still need to edit stuff, if you need to change materials. This will be a fully uneditable copy if you do linking. Import and export are similar to kind of how copy, paste, append works. I think I actually have an example from earlier where I did one of these, but essentially, say I wanted to export just this green cube. I do export, I would do like probably the FBX or the STL or OBJ. It doesn't really matter. Probably FBX or OBJ. But I'm going to just do FBX because that's what I prefer to use. I'll just name it partner 2, like I had in here earlier. And then I should be able to, after exporting that cube, import it now. Yeah. So essentially, that's it. That one didn't come with everything I had put on it, but that's probably because I was using a file from earlier. Also just do selected objects. Yeah. So I wouldn't do the whole like import export if you can avoid it, because it does come with a few more problems, but generally this is a pretty good setup. I would recommend approaching this with either link or append, copy, paste, something like that. Import, export are just kind of thrown in here. Otherwise, yeah, that's it.